Right to the edge, right to your edge, right to the edge of your edge. Jump off that cliff, dive in below. Jump off that cliff, dive in
Hey everyone, Veronica Berrigan here. Welcome to Webinar Wednesday. Hello everyone, thank you guys so much for joining today. We have a wonderful webinar planned today, which we will be going over the Virtual Access Center, which we call at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services the VAC. So you guys hear that term, VAC? That's what that stands for. If you can hear me, can you please chat on the side right there and just say hello? I just want to make sure that my audio is okay and that you could hear me. You should be looking at, I did turn off the PowerPoint, so you're not looking at the PowerPoint any longer. You're looking at some funky screen. So just chat with me on the side here and just say hello if you can hear me, please. Thank you. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Greg. How are you both? Cindy, hi, how are you? Good evening. Thank you so much for joining. So I'm glad you all can hear me. So like I said, we're going to be going over the Virtual Access Center, which is basically your website, your database, and also all of the amazing tools that include marketing that we as Berkshire Hathaway have to offer to you. As a business owner of your real estate business, this is a place where basically you're running your whole show. You're checking in every day because your contacts are in there. You're adding people to automated email campaigns that are already pre-made for you. You're checking your listings and you're checking your marketing. I mean, it is a full package with this system. So it's important that we know where to find things and how to work it. In addition, not only am I going to show you like the top things, because of course I could spend about 5 hours here today talking about it, but I want to give you a quick overview because next month we are in luck, guys, because Nikki, I know a lot of you can't attend the day trainings, but I still will send out the dates because Nikki will be teaching over at the Northwest First American Title, which is right next to us, on these classes. And it's actually a series of 3 classes, and they're 3 hours long, 9 a.m. to noon typically. And typically she does them like on a Friday. But that gets more in depth into all the magic and all the real things that you can do. Now, I'm going to just go over what you're working already for your systems, what you can use it to lead, how you can use it to lead generate it, and for follow-up, which is where the money is. And then basically so you can get around it. There's a couple of reports in here that you absolutely need to know how to use because they're genius. They're reports that people use to capture expired for sell by owners or any listing that's maybe sitting on the sidelines. So gonna go over a lot of that stuff. If questions arise, please do type them in on the side. That way we can go through them because they will come up. So make sure you do that. And I will be going back and forth into screens. So you're gonna be seeing a few different screenshots as I navigate through the screen. So don't think that it's breaking or anything like that. So let's go ahead and get started. Today we don't have a regular PowerPoint because I'm just gonna take you right into the system. So your Virtual Access Center is basically when you go on to our website, which is, this is our Arizona website, and it's www.bhhsaz.com. This is a way you can access the Virtual Access Center. This login button up here, that's for your clients. So that is if you want to register yourself as a consumer. I would highly suggest you do register yourself on your own site when you go to your domain. So your domain typically would be first name, last name, .bhhsaz.com. This is your personal website. You can register yourself here just so that you can test the system and see how it's working. I highly recommend you do that. Now, this other website that I took you to, however, this is our actual state site. So up here is for the consumer to register, but at the bottom, and all of our websites, by the way, guys, all of your agent website, they're going to look exactly like this as well. So we are updating all of that. It's going to look much more cleaner. And I'll show you right now within the system how to change the templates in your website. Okay, so your link that you probably want to favorite is intranet.bhhsaz.com. And our tech girl or tech guru, Gina Ortiz, should have sent you up a list of passwords, and the passwords should include what your login information is. So you're going to plug it in right here, of course, and you're going to log in. So this is our back office, guys. Okay, so when you get in the beginning, you're going to see this up here that says company dashboard. When you have that checked, what it is just basically showing you any latest news for the company. So you you can scroll through the different things that are happening, the latest and greatest, and then everything's clickable so you can actually check it out. Now, if you do your own dashboard, that's actually going to give you information on your actual numbers. So what listings you have. I'm not a producing broker, so I don't have anything in here. I just have some numbers to play with, and so I can show you in the system. But as your sales increase, this is a great way to track yourself and how you're doing. And I'll show you how to do that as well. But it gives you a good overview. But most of the time, we're going to be looking at it under the company dashboard. And I'm going to go over today all of these tabs, the most important things to look out for so you understand what's happening. But down here, as you scroll down, there are live links that'll take you also to our other back office systems, which each have a website within themselves. But you can simply click here and it'll take you to SkySlope. We're doing a class on that for you all, a webinar at the end of the month, so you can see how it actually works. I'm going to do a transaction so you can see what happens once it goes under escrow and you put it into the system. So all of these are live links that you can go to. AZRE Academy, that's a really important one because that is our education site for any corporate classes. So anything that's not being offered within my branches, the ones that I manage. And so this includes real estate masters, it includes continuing education, any post-licensing classes that we're offering, any designations. We recently just did a designation for the international agent, so working with international buyers and sellers. It was it's an excellent designation that we got at a discounted price. So you'll get emails on it, but this is anytime you want to know what's happening, because our training, corporate training, it rotates between all of our offices throughout the valley, then that is why exactly you can come on here and see what's happening in what month. So you can check out the Real Estate Masters and it'll give you the calendar for the next few months. So it'll help you guys especially plan accordingly if you're going to be maybe taking vacation in the near future. So you can do this in the evening. Real Estate Masters is definitely one that I want you guys to attend. So just check out the schedule. And hi, Jerry. Thanks for joining. I saw your text message. Yeah, if you guys don't chat there, you can grab my attention by sending me a text as well. That's what that is. And then, of course, then we have just stats and things of that nature. Where we're going to focus on today, oh my gosh, we have a lot of CE classes for free. I hope you guys took those in September. Okay, so what we're going to focus on today is going through each of the tabs. All right, so home, user. We're not going to spend a lot of time with here because actually when you get your access information to the virtual access center, Nikki sets up your profile, so your picture is already in there. But if any of your stats or information is incorrect, you can come in here actually and change anything you want as far as the verbiage goes, the photo. Some of you guys are working on teams, you're a team. You can update your photo with the team picture here and use only one website. Usually that's what works better instead of trying to work off 2 databases and 2 sites. So I would just highly recommend you do that. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't filled out, of course, because I was being a slacker. But there's social network links so people can find you. And why this is important is because not only is it access through how you drive traffic to your websites, but also nationally and internationally. Because we spend money as a company, especially nationally, to actually expose the brand, right? And so they're going to our sites, and so your information needs to be as accurate as possible. So this is where you really need to get in here and make sure it's working. If you have any problems with uploading pictures or really anything on the site, and if you really feel like you don't know how to master it, the best bet is to contact Nikki Burridge, and her email is NIKI-BUR. Here, I'll just type it in here actually, so you guys have it. She is a genius, and she herself has told us we are hiring a lot more, of course, of like the millennials, the younger realtors, and they know they're so advanced in technology. And so she's really upping her game and making sure that she's up to the latest to make sure that we're all utilizing the site to its highest potential. Okay, so let's go back to our profile. So really, you don't have to do too much in here. Now, one thing, if you are buying your own domain, what does that mean? Remember I showed you my website. The one we give you for free is your first name, your last name, .bhhsaz.com. Now you can go to GoDaddy or you can go to any site that sells domains and buy a domain for, $10, $5. Like, Veronica sells Arizona, the really good ones are taken, but you can be really creative. Your domain is not searchable, but it's kind of nice to have something catchy. So with the domain, we can actually go on here and forward your domain, which means anybody who types in either your Berkshire domain and the other one will get your website. So that's if you want to spend some money on that, which in the long run, you probably do. It's all about branding. So it's all about repeating the same messages to whatever you're doing in your marketing. So the one thing I do want to go in here, my new agents that I've done onboarding appointments with, I already did this for you, but just check it out to make sure it's working. Now, the name of the game when you go on to a website is, when you're driving people to your website, is to capture their information. Well, most of the time, people are not going to give you their information unless you ask for it, right? And so the website is equipped to actually work as a landing page, which means it's a squeeze page, which can actually capture the information of the consumer once they're on your website looking at all the cool things you have to offer. So many agents think, well, no, if I ask people for their information, they're just going to leave my site. They're not going to give you your information if you don't give it to them. I mean, if you don't ask them for it, period. No one's going to give it to you. There's not a site out there that's worthy enough. Maybe just the big dogs like Zillow, right? Because they offer all these really cool things and there's so much tracking and all of that. But you need to ask for their contact info. So you can go down here to client registration options and you can click on immediate. And what that does is that when they go to your site, they'll click on the picture, but it will immediately prompt them to actually give you their contact info. Otherwise, they can't keep looking. Some people feel more comfortable with doing registration is not required. I mean, unlimited. That means that they'll never log in. I don't believe in that at all. And you drive people to your website in many different forms, guys, not only through like Facebook advertising or online advertising, but through word of mouth. You put it on your flyers. You do everything with your site. So you're driving people there. So you got to find a way to get them to connect and give you their info. And then there's mid-level, which you can do. Agent can select hard registration settings. So you can tell the system after they look at one picture, after they look at two pictures. I've gotten to the point where agents are testing it just to see what gets them higher conversion. To my knowledge, and what I see in online internet marketers, they're doing immediate and they're asking for the information, because if the message that I gave you in my marketing message, if that flyer that said go to my site was that amazing, that now when you go to my site, you're not willing to give me your info, then you're probably not very motivated. Same with your Facebook ad. If they see a Facebook ad and that ad was amazing, but yet they get to your site and now they don't want to give you their info, then they're probably not as motivated as somebody else that would, right? So that's how you change it here, immediate, and then you just hit submit changes on everything and it just populates the new information. I wouldn't change anything else in here. And by the way, guys, you can't really break anything in here. And you can, there's a log that tells you all of the changes you've done in the site. And so then you can go and see and you can undo things, and there's no coding you need to know like a web developer or anything like that. So you're safe. Feel free to play around in the system. Right here too is really good, the lead assignment market areas. If you want to specify what zip codes you focus on, then this will show up on your website as well. So as you're branding yourself on the area of focus is something you need to do. All right, moving right along. This is the website. I'm not going to spend a million years on it. I'm going to tell you the most important things. Your website is already equipped and ready to rock and roll. It's working. It's doing what it needs to, right? Now, the biggest thing is probably design. So design is going to give us a different look. So we can go from site builder to design to prepackaged designs here. And it'll give you a wide variety of which ones you can choose from. So you can hit select and hit OK. And then you can preview it first. That way it doesn't publish just yet. And now you'll see what this one will look like. And actually with this site, this picture rotates, and there is a place in the site builder where I'll show you where you can actually change all these pictures up. In the 3-hour class, she actually goes in there and dissects this whole thing. But I will show you how to change these pictures so you can see how easy that is. So that's one version. And then if you like it, then you hit publish and you hit yes. Now here, I love this here because these are my previously published sites. Let's say you made an error and you're like, oh my God, I didn't like that one. I like the other one better. Then you can just click on it. You can preview it. It'll give you the preview and then you just save that one and publish it. So you see how it's hard to break things in here. So that's the design. Let me go back to the design actually. This is the homepage layout now. Site builder design, prepackaged designs. So again, play with them and see which one you like the best. And now all of them are mobile friendly, so they will get you great traffic from anybody looking on their phone, which most people actually look at your site from their phones. So that's design. Homepage layout, I'll click on that really quick. There's a couple of things that are pretty important here, and it has to do with marketing. Okay, let me just go back. Does anybody have any questions? I didn't go too fast on that. Okay, sorry guys. There's going to be a lot more coming, I promise you. Okay, so next thing. This, I went from site builder to homepage layout right there. This is going to tell me the main page. This is the most important one, right? There's text up at the top that you can hide, or you can even edit and write whatever you want. How easy is that? Create, edit my own content, choose from my existing content, or choose from company content. Isn't that cool? So you just, whatever you want to do, you can type in there. Next thing is to quick search. The quick search has to do with the way they search for homes. So you can click on this and change the settings. I wouldn't mess with that. I mean, it works the way it needs to, and you don't want to hide it. People on the left or text, you can play with all of this. It's just basically how your site's going to look at the front right here. The biggest thing that I do want to call your attention to is this button here. It's the call out button. The call out button is actually what stands out on your website. Now I call these my marketing taglines. And this is my call to action. And as you as a marketer, as a realtor, anytime that you're doing any type of advertising, I don't care if it's digital, printed, if you're even doing a phone call, let's say you have a flyer, whatever it looks like, you're mailing out a postcard, there has to be a clear call to action. Otherwise, people will not take action and move forward with what you're asking. So your call to action many times, the easiest one that I've seen, and not only the easiest one, the one that really works and gets people interested is go to my site and request a free market value home report of your home. That's for sellers, right? Let's say you were doing a seller campaign or a seller flyer. Let's say now you're doing a buyer flyer, and maybe you're doing an ad on Facebook targeting tenants in West Wing. And the ad says, go to my site. Maybe it says, because headlines is everything. So this is my headline. Buyer beware. Do not purchase a home until you read this. And you can drive them to a certain place on your site. And that's how these call outs actually work. So when you click on call out and you click on settings, it gives you an option of how many different ones you want on your main page. So based on the marketing messages you're using, the call to action, this is where you get to pick. So my favorite, and first, if there's already some up here, you do have to X them out to make room for the others. But buying, home purchasing tips, remember we're doing an ad driving people to our site to now find out about home purchasing tips. So it's gonna pop up right in the front of my website, and it's gonna be prominent so that they can click on it and it's easy to find. My favorite, because the messages, of course, is the home valuation. Look at how easy that is. What's my home worth? So I'm gonna do that one. Another one that I do like the buying home purchasing tips. I love the market watch. A lot of people, this is what I call the key for you as a realtor, as from the gate of information. 94% of consumers go to the internet before they even call you. They know a lot. What they don't know is market trends. They don't understand the truth of the real estate market within a hyper local situation, meaning within neighborhoods, within the areas you all specialize in. And so this is a really nice message, you know, especially this is great for sellers and buyers, because sellers want to know what's happening in their neighborhood and buyers want to know what's happening as well. So when they go to this link, it takes them to a place where they can sign up for your Market Watch report, and I'll show you what that is right now. And then maybe owning a home, sign up for home finder services, the schools in your neighborhood. I mean, it depends on what message you're using, and you can change this all the time, anytime you want. Maybe you're somebody who's focusing on relocation. You have a nice book of business for people that are relocating, or maybe you're working with a corporate company that's going to open up the floodgates for you. This is a good one to use, to put on there, because now you can say you specialize in something like that. And then I like buying home tips, so I'm going to pick that one too. So buying, home valuation, and Market Watch. And then you're just going to click submit. And then you're all done. So make sure that you preview it, or then you publish it, and it's going to show you right at the bottom. So see these 3 messages? They're kind of in depending on your template, they'll show up at the top or bottom, and there's a way to actually move these up. And that's what that 3-hour class is all about. But right here, it's not too hard for someone to go out here and say, oh, what is this? You know, oh, there they are. So you can play with the template and check out exactly what I am talking about. So I would just hit publish. All right. Let me see if I want to show you anything else on your site builder. Design, site customization is going to get into detailed, all the different colors you can change, be creative. You can do a zillion things in here. And again, remember, if you don't like the way you did it, you can just click on here and load it and do the undo button. It's basically like your undo button. Content, this is the different pages in your site. So you can change the navigation, titles, anything you want really to make it happen. So again, it's already working. Unless you have someone you're going to hire, or you really love to do this kind of stuff, or you've time blocked yourself, or this is not a priority because it's already working. But this is, I can send you some links and I'll actually post them on our Facebook group page of what people have done with their sites. Image library, you do have to upload all your images in there. And then you do have, before you can use them on the site. And then when you do have a blog component, if you're going to get into blogging, it's beautiful, but you have to do unique content. Google does not like you referencing other articles. The Google juice likes unique content written, moment to moment. And so, and also blogging is not like it's a full-time commitment, guys. You should be blogging at least once a week if you're going to do it, right? If you're going to do it less than once a week, you probably shouldn't be doing it at all. So it's a commitment. What do people blog about? They blog about their new listings. They blog about the new buyer they just closed. They blog about neighborhood information, lifestyle information. So again, it's just, especially if you love to write, you should really just time block for this, because it is marketing. It's not direct prospecting, but it is marketing, and it will help you get more additional traction to your site. SEO manager will go through all of the different reports. It actually gives you reports on traffic and all of that stuff. Apps and widgets, additional things, additional reports on that. And this is great for your sellers. You can actually send them things of that nature. And then you can see your site. Okay, I'm going to move on, guys, because we have a lot to go through. Okay, unless you have burning questions on the website. No worries, Joe. Thank you for joining. I'm going to go into database next, probably. And so ask me any questions on the website right now. Go. Wow, I think we're good. Man, we have a lot of web geniuses here. All right. Next thing, guys, the most important thing, because if I leave this to the end, I will not have done my job tonight. Your database. If you don't have a database, you're not running a business, a real estate business, period. You are in the business, of course, to help beautiful families, people sell their homes and buy and sell. But as a business owner, your database is your money. Your database is the most important thing. And it's all about what the consumer, what experience the consumer gets through the touches you make with them through your database. And that's the beauty of technology, that we can leverage this out. The name of the game for real estate: listings, leads, and leverage. So we need technology to help us stay in touch. Because guess what, guys? Only 12% of realtors follow up with the lead more than 3 times. Number one, they probably think they're being pushy salesmen. No, what they don't realize is that the buyer or seller may just not be ready right at that time. That motivation factor is maybe not right. Number two is they don't have technology or systems that help them stay in touch to streamline their efforts so they can focus on what's important, which is continue to get more contacts, continue to get more leads. And so this is why the database is so important. We've tracked numbers. We can even track numbers. Some of the national numbers that say, that for every 50 people that you put into your database, that you market email at least once a month, you can expect to close 1 transaction a year. So it all turns into a number game. If you want to close in $350,000 in gross in income in transactions, that would probably equate to about 60 transactions, which would equate to how many contacts per day. I mean, I can do the math literally off of Excel. An easy formula, for example, in that situation would be, if you want to close 1 transaction consistently a month, that means that you need to put 600 contacts into your database in 1 year. When you break it down to like a weekly number, it goes down to about 14 contacts a week that go into your database and get the experience of your messages. Now, 14 a week may sound scary to a lot of you, but I've seen many of you do open houses where you have 10, 15 people walk through in 1 day. So it's all about building not building, but setting up the system, which is so easy. I'm going to go over and show it to you so that when you're ready to move to a more advanced level, you can do it very easily. And do it, and then every time you get someone's contact information, whether they want to buy or sell now or not, maybe they're just a sphere of influence, right? They go in here. That's the number one habit. If you can do that one habit right, you will stand out from all the realtors out there that don't do this. And you will streamline and you will see. I have testimonials that I can share with you, even new agents that are now closing transactions because of someone they put in their database 4 to 6 months ago. I'm really passionate about this, guys. This is very, very important. So let me show you how easily this actually works. Okay, so it's all about staying in touch. We have made we have done campaigns for you already that are pre-done with marketing messages that will actually stay in touch with your clients, right? And so when you go from client to campaigns, my campaigns, when you click on this little button right here, it tells you what this campaign consists of. For example, this one is an owner campaign, so someone who already owns a home. So you can preview the message that's going out to us. So it's basically whatever the title is, we gear it toward that consumer. Relocation campaigns. The cool thing about this is that they're strategically built out based on how many touches we have seen are needed in order to really convert into an actual client. For example, if you get a brand new buyer transaction or buyer lead, maybe they're not ready, right? You meet them at the open house. Maybe they come through your website. Then you have to assign them to something, right? And this buyer campaign is great. The buyer now gets an email day 1 when they go into your system, day 2, then day 5, it goes 3 days, and then it goes into 5 days, all the way to about 75 days. We also have, of course, the monthly newsletters, and these are awesome. I mean, they're not boring to read. Mostly home tips or like things that a consumer wants to read, of course, and they're pre-made and done for you. So I'm going to show you how to set this up. If you're a newer agent and you did onboard appointment with me, I've already set yours up, but this is important for you to know right now, because when you start off, guys, the database is the most important thing. And you have to look at how am I going to organize my people, right? A top producer closing, over 60 transactions a year, their database is categorized in maybe 5 to 10 different categories, you know, of leads, of people coming from different streams of sources and with different messaging. And so as a new agent, to not get overwhelmed, it's very easy for us to just set up our database in 3 easy steps or 3 different groups, because these 3 groups will pretty much cover anybody who you meet out there. So the 3 groups that you need to set up your database in, and my new agents, we've already done this with you guys, so don't worry. There is a buyer group. You're always going to meet a buyer. You're always going to meet a seller. And you're always going to meet sphere of influence. And so what we need to do first is we set up people in the groups in the system. So we go to groups right here, because after we set up a group, then we can attach the pre-made campaigns to that particular group. Making sense? So I'm in the group section. So as a new agent, I want you to do very easily, go down here and write buyer. Just buyer. Buyer. Now what this is doing, it's just creating that group. And I think I may have a buyer one in there already. So it's called the member distribution group because it's an email distribution that they're talking about. And I'm going to create my seller group, right? Someone's going to be a seller or a buyer. And then the next one I'm going to create, duplicate. So I had already one in the system, guys, because I've done this with other people. So the third one I would create is sphere of influence. SOI is what we call it. Create group. Create it. So now I've done it. You may see some duplicates on mine because I've already done this before. And so now I have my 3 groups. So that means that anytime I'm doing any marketing, anytime I'm doing lead generation and I do get a contact information, I'm going to assign them to either a seller, a buyer, or just my sphere of influence, right? Now, your sphere of influence, I'll show you right now, they should be getting your monthly newsletter at a minimum, you know? And your buyer and seller should be getting the buyer campaign that pertains to them and the seller campaign that pertains to them. Plus, they should be getting always your newsletter, your monthly newsletter, because it's easy, right? And now they're getting additional contacts from you. So now that we've set up our groups, we can go to campaigns and go to my campaigns. And I can actually say buyer campaign right here. Now yours may say off right here where it says on. If it says off, you just gotta go to settings and just turn it on. Mine was on already, but I know when you first start as a new agent, it will say off. And then you just hit update and you're done. So let's go back, clients. Let's go back to my campaigns. And then now I'm gonna go to my buyer campaign. So I'm gonna click recipients. And now mine's already checked because I've done this already before with someone, but it wouldn't have been checked. So I would have said anybody who I categorize as a buyer in my system is gonna get the buyer campaign. Now I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna pick the seller campaign. You see how the seller campaign says off right here? So I'm gonna go settings. I'm gonna hit on. Make sure yours has this, because otherwise it's not going on. And then again, I'm gonna go back to my campaigns, clients, campaigns, my campaigns. Okay, so now seller campaign is on. Who's gonna get my seller campaign? Only my sellers, right? There it is. So I'd already checked it, that's why it's like that. Now your sphere of influence, or I'm sorry, your monthly newsletter, it's already on, it says on. Everybody in your whole database should get your newsletter. It doesn't matter if they're a buyer, it doesn't matter if they're a seller, it doesn't matter if later on you start adding more groups like open house leads. And why that's important is because we can even build personalized campaigns to those. Perhaps you have now FSBO, for sale by owner campaigns, expired campaigns. As you progress, as you start closing more deals, your database will also start to grow. And that's how your business really starts to take shape. At the beginning, that's why I'm only doing seller, buyer, and sphere of influence. But anybody who goes into my database, when I click all of these boxes, is basically I'm telling the system, Anybody who goes into my system, you need to send them my monthly newsletter, period. And you just hit update recipients. So now the system's actually set up and you're done. Seller, buyer, sphere of influence. So now your job is now to go to your, as you're done with your marketing, let's say you had an open house on Sunday. So now I always call Monday, follow-up Mondays. That's when I make sure I'm calling, following up, and I'm entering my leads. Doesn't matter if they said I don't want to buy now, but they gave you their contact info. It doesn't matter if, unless they said do not email me, but why would they give you their email if they didn't want you? I mean, if they didn't want you to email them, you know. So you have to understand, anybody who gives you their contact info, anybody who you already have in your phone contact list, you have to add them on here, guys. If you have a mass list, you can put it in Excel format and we can actually upload it into the system. So you won't have the problem of entering one by one. But this system right here, what it'll do is clients, and on here, you scroll down to the bottom. Oops, I'm in the wrong one. Sorry, guys. Clients, main, or contact list, maybe. Here it is. So then you go add contacts, and look at how beautiful this is. You type in the information as much as you have available. Some people want to classify them, you know, hot, somebody who's going to buy in the next 30 days, warm, 90 days, and anything else is anything beyond that, just to be able to see who to call at a more consistent space. But the more information you have here, the better, because you're logging into your system every day, looking at your leads, right? Now, the most important thing is that you see this email distribution group. It's going to tell you what email drip campaign you want to assign your lead to. So, you know, this was a buyer, so I'm going to put buyer, and they're always going to get my newsletter. So I'm going to click on sphere of influence because we've assigned that on the other side. So you see how easy that is? So for those of you guys that the system's been set up already, you don't have to worry about setting it up. Your only worry and your habit actually is that you need to, every time you have an open house or you have something where you're generating leads, you go to contact list, you add your contact, and you assign them somewhere here. I highly, highly suggest that you each sign yourselves up so that you have an idea exactly of how the system works. Now, more advanced, you know, a year down your career, you can actually do personal campaigns, guys. Did you know that open rates from text emails is only 11%? It doesn't matter. You're staying in their inbox, even if they're not opening. Really, the name of the game is staying consistent with them seeing your name. But when you add video and you embed video, the open rate goes up to 53%. So it's huge, right? So we can actually embed videos, create all kinds of different campaigns. You start an email letter, you can compose, you go to the letter library and create letters, which is basically either text or you can, like I said, embed the video. And now you have all these letters to pick one, and you can actually set the system up to create different campaigns yourself. So you can go to My Campaigns, create a custom campaign. And because you've already created all this content on the letters, you can call this one, maybe I want to do a FISBO campaign. For anybody who I label as a FISBO, I want to have a different message for them. And you would just hit continue. Oops. Add to a group, because you're going to create a specific group. And then continue. And now you can choose from all the pre-made letters in here and even tell it how often you want the email to go to. You can say, oh, I want this one. Or if you would have done your own, they would have also shown up right here. And now at the bottom, you can say, I want it to go out the first day that I enter the contact into the system. And then you would just hit continue. And you can add another one now, another email. So you hit add letter. And you say, oh, the FISBO wants this one. You can preview what it says. There's a ton of them in here, guys. So you can pick whatever you want. Oops, there's one. And now this one, now it's all about touches, right? You should at least be contacting once a week. If it's an online lead, you should be contacting every day because they're colder. If it's an open house lead, and FISBO lead, or expired lead, it's your system, follow your system, but at least on a weekly basis. So if this was like something that I wanted to not touch base until, once a week, and I would just say day 6. So that means that the system's now going to know to send now this letter on day 6. So isn't that cool? It's all about automation, and you can get really creative. You can do, like I said, you can even do when buyers get into escrow, do a series of emails that say, congratulations, your inspection period is over. When you get to this point, definitely come sit with me, because we also have in our national center, there's like there's about 80 different drip campaigns that are already pre-made for you that you can just use to make your own personalization or whatever. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel, guys. There's so much information in here. So that's the most important thing. I could say the website and the contacts, those 2 things are the most important things you're going to do in here as far as really lead generation and making sure you are staying in touch. Okay, any questions before I go on to the next one? I'm going to give you guys a second, because I know that was a lot of information, but does it make sense at all? I think we're good. Okay, wait a second, 1 second. Okay, I have a question here. What's your question? Oh, okay, I think we're good. All right, so moving right along, guys. We have about 15 minutes, so let me make sure I focus on the most important things. All right, so listings. All of your listings are managed in here, and this is really your hub for also all of your marketing. You can view your listings, and you can actually click on here for QR codes for its own website. Each of your listings get their own website. Did you all know that? So if you're doing driving traffic to your listings, to your website, but you want to get really specific as to driving them right to your listing for exposure, so you can give reports to your seller and all that good stuff. Here's your URL, and it actually takes you right to the listing. So now I can actually use this URL to drive people here through Facebook advertising, or even just through any type of other advertising. And it'll give them this nice little tour, and it's actually pretty beautiful. So also for your sellers, you get to tell them, by the way, did you know you get your own website, as a listing. QR codes, just a lot of different things. You can change the photo gallery, the verbiage. You can update an open house in here, the price, anything you want to manage your listings. And all your marketing is pretty much going to be in here. You can also, in here, change what feature properties you want on your website in case you have like a really high-end listing and your seller wants it on right at the front of your site. You can create flyers and do a few other things. I love this little button. I don't know why it's in this section, but buyer's tour. I love this because you can actually, let's say you're going to go show 7 houses, right? And the MLS does a great job of you click on all the buttons and you can print them so your client can actually have something for them to look at while they're doing that. Or you can do something a little bit nicer, and that is you can put all the MLS numbers in here of the ones that you're going to show, and then you'll click on this, and I wish I could show it to you all, but what it is it's branded to your name, and it actually has the list of the homes that they're going to see and the order and all of that. So this is a really neat tool because you want to have them take something behind that reminds them of you, right? Of course, they're going to remember you because they're the realtor, but just much more professional. So I really like that button, and that's in here under listings and buyer store. I have no idea why they put it in there, but it is in there. So that's a little bit of listings. Next thing, email. Of course, you can just click on that button and it takes you to your Berkshire email. So I'm just going to close that. And then admin, this is only for me because I am an admin, so you won't even see this button. Resources, this one's pretty important. It's going to have a zillion things in here. Do not call us, do not call AZ, which just seems like the whole world is on there, but we still call, so I'm not sure what's happening there. Corporate info, award and ranking. You can click on here and check to see how you're doing as a team or as an individual. on rankings. You can check all of the offices in Arizona. You really should be lead generating and all looking at that. I don't know if you guys have access to that actually, but that's interesting. Building maintenance, I think nothing in here really pertains to you guys. It's really mostly going to be to me. The only biggest thing is the concierge. Don't forget that we have a free service for all of you that will provide you bids for any type of repairs, any requests that your homeowner or during transaction as your representative buyer may need. So just upload it here and you'll be able to get quotes within 24 hours, which is fantastic. That way you know exactly what you're up against. Also, our home staging is in there, so you can get a home stager to come with you. This is only for me, admin, you will not see that. Education just goes through all the different links that I showed you on all the back office systems like SkySlope and as well as, our corporate class calendar and all that great stuff. Marketing, pretty important, guys, pretty important. There's advertising and pricing. National marketing, that is our national site. I'm going to click on it because we are going to go into something in there really quick because I want you to, actually, this is not the link. This is the national TV schedule. I apologize, but there will be a resource center and we will, I will show you what that looks like because that is very important. I'm going to show you what a seller's advantage looks like. So marketing, brand standards, go-to tools is our local AZ site that is ran by Diane Fay and Becca Smith over in corporate. This is the local branded stuff. This is where you get your free flyers for your listings, where you can look at the luxury collection, additional marketing resource like expired marketing and agent marketing. Some of it is free, and then there's some things that you can pay for. So that's another marketing resource. And then, of course, we all made our partnership. We all know about the partnership with Impact Marketing. The cool thing about Impact Marketing is the automation on mail-outs, postcards, and incredibly discounted prices. I cannot believe how cheap they are to print and mail out for you. You can set up a campaign for years, for 6 months, for however long you want it, and tell the system exactly what you want mailed out and at what day, and it will really alleviate you from worrying about that. In addition, there's over 1,000 templates for Berkshire agents that you can additionally go through. I would have to do a whole other webinar just on that site. Listing and buyer presentation. These are the downloads. So you can download PowerPoint, Keynote if you're using a Mac. You should be practicing your listing presentation every single day, and you should be practicing your buyer presentation every single day. Even if you don't have any leads, even if you have no clients, practice makes perfect, guys. I cannot stress this enough. It is a big, big opportunity for you to get good before you actually go in front of someone. A lot of different things. Lead generation checklist is going to tell you where to find a lot of our tools. Just a lot of different things that are part of the actual listing presentation as well. My RE TV, don't forget that we do have professional video editing services for you. We can record a video for you that you can post on your YouTube channel, on your website. That's professional, that talks about who you are as a business owner, and we can get it edited. We do it on a green screen, so it's actually pretty neat, guys. So you should be scheduling an appointment there soon. So you can play around there. Just gonna have our preferred partners. And then shopping, if you want to buy any polo shorts or business cards or anything like that. Technology, if you want to get to AR Online, which is our state association, the Department of Real Estate, MLS, Resource Center. That is our national site. I am going to take you there for a quick minute because it is super important. So I was in technology under Resource Center. I'm going to go in there right now. And then links to all of the other back office systems that we actually use. Now, why do I want to take you to the Resource Center? Because there is an amazing tool in here that well, there's a lot of things in here that are pretty cool, but I love one thing in particular. Well, let's start with my favorite, which is the Seller Advantage. This is an amazing report, guys. It actually, you can plug in an address and it gives you a map of the history of the website traffic, of the history of people that are already looking in the area of the property that you plug in. Why is that important? Let's say you're going to go after an expired. The expired is a reject for the industry, pretty much. Something happened and it didn't sell, right? For sell by owner, they think they could do it themselves, right? Well, you're coming in with this beautiful marketing piece that gives them an actual map and traffic area and number of how many people are already looking to buy or sell in their area, right? Like the type of home that they are currently living in. So now you have a solution for them. Do you have the names of these buyers or buyers? No, but you have a great strategy because we can put a great, especially digitally right now, based on behaviors, we can put a great ad in front of these people without having to second guess where the buyer's coming from. So the seller advantage, I absolutely love. You click on that. So I was on the homepage. I just clicked on seller advantage. And it's taking me there. And please play around with this. I have a manual if you need it with pictures and stuff like that. Really easy to use though, guys. There's 3 types of reports you can actually run in here. There's the buyer advantage, which is review my customer contact, set up action plans. It's great. It's about setting expectations. And now you're running yourself like a great business owner. You have systems and the consumer feels the experience of professionalism. Seller advantage is my favorite. Run a listing presentation report, set up a seller to receive a listing activity report, and set up a prospect to receive a market activity report. So we can actually do that. You can manage your sellers. If you already have them in your database, it does work already with your database. So you can just go in there and work with them, or you can create a brand new report. So it's going to give you these are people currently in my database, or you can create a brand new report. It's just thinking. This is what the report looks like. It's really easy. Only 3 steps: the seller info, the address, square footage, and all of that great stuff. And then you'll just get this beautiful printout, 8.5 with 11, like 8.5 and 11. And it gives you, like right here, the information of the property, the neighborhood, gives you how many people are looking. It's pretty awesome. I'll see if I can do it really quickly so you can see it a little bit bigger. Let's see if it works because I don't have it. Let's see. Peoria. I'm just plugging it in. And we think it's worth $250. And then you just go next. And then on here, you can modify it to be specific to their particular home. So I'm gonna say 200 to 300 square footage. I just put 2,300. You put as much information or as little as possible. But again, the more information you put in here, the more it's gonna give us data exactly on their type of home. And then you just hit create report. It's so easy. And then you can print the report or you can email it. But this is what it's gonna look like. So apparently around the office, there's 28 yesterday, recent searches for homes like yours, 244, 1273, and 113. And then it does the map. So, and it's branded to you. If it's not branded to you, my picture's not on here, so I'll show you how to actually fix your, I'll show you how to fix the profile. But if it's not feeding from the other one, it's very easy, but it should have your picture right here. Mine's just not here. But do you see how beautiful this report is? This should be with everything with your 20-step marketing plan. Now you're able to give them actual valuable information. Other stuff on here on the resource center, there's a marketing resource and over 800 different templates of things you can use. It does work with the MLS, so you don't have to upload new pictures. You just plug in the MLS number. And if it's your own listing, it already works tremendously, but you can do e-cards, postcards, e-newsletters, anything you really want. Lead source, I also love, because this is the one that I told you that has a zillion different reports, and also will give you remember I told you that we could do They have over 90 different tabs of drip campaigns. I just want to know where they went. Oh, it's not in here. Maybe it's not in here. I will have to find the link for that, but there in here, we also have a section that actually has like different campaigns you can copy and paste to use in your VAC system if you want to use that database. So this is the national center. Anything that's happening nationally will be on here. A zillion other ideas for marketing in here. So please check it out on a consistent basis and use the seller advantage. All right. Any questions so far? Because we're running out of time. Let's see here. So that is really a quick overview, guys. Again, that's why we have 3-hour classes. Yeah, the Learning Center has a lot of info, Joe. I mean, it is overwhelming. What I think the biggest thing, and I really did hit on the most important things here, guys, which is the most important thing for you is your website, your database, and the marketing in your listings. That's really what it's about. If you can master those 2 things, you're going to be okay. So don't feel like you have to be a techie and do all these fancy things with your website. What you should be focusing on is driving people there, either through paid advertising or through word of mouth or whatever it takes, right? And then your database, start slow. Set up your campaigns with only those 3 groups that I told you: buyer, seller, and the sphere of influence. Build the habit first. And then with time, we can really look at personalized campaigns. We can look at video campaigns. We can look at all the personalized messages that can really make more of an impact, because in the end, guys, the goal is we got to convert these leads into actual clients, or else we're not doing a good job. So check out the website on our education so you can see what corporate classes are being offered. I will continue to do more of these classes. Maybe I'll do a webinar specifically only on the website and then only on the database in case anybody wants some more information on it. Or if you already have ideas from what I've been telling you today, just call me, set up an appointment. We can sit down and we can brainstorm and mastermind so that we can hash it out. I love to really involve this technology and make sure that it's working to our highest potential. So if we don't have any questions, guys, I'm going to shut off, but let me know if you have any questions. I'll give it about 1 more minute. We had a question. What about our own homes? Can we use them? Can you clarify that question, Jerry? Seller's Advantage, yes, was in the Resource Center, which was under here. At the very last, it's under Technology. It's the BHHS Resource Center. So it literally is bhhsresource.com. And then it's under Seller Advantage right here. Okay. Did that answer your question, Jerry? Any other questions at all right now? All right, guys. Well, please connect with me if you have any additional questions and I can help you and assist. The name of the game, again, is driving leads there. So let's do it. Let's get out there and make something happen. Thank you guys so much for investing in your time and investing your time in your business. It's so important, guys. Now let's get out there and actually take some action. Thank you so much and have a great evening, everyone. Goodbye.